Welcome everyone to episode 13 of my code along series, in which we are coding a fuel trailer script, which is basically going to be a portable trailer script. But before we get into it, I'd just like to say thank you for those interacting with my videos. I hope you enjoy this process as much as I do. Right, without further ado, we are continuing our work on attaching and detaching models. We left off activating physics on the pipe. I just want to go back to CDN fuel, which isn't necessary because I've got the code over here on my computer. I remember, was it fuel? It was indeed. Right, over here, they activated the physics. I remember now. They waited. And after which after we wait, we attach the rope to the two entities, being the fuel station and nozzle. Right. So after we have waited ample time, my lord, this is very annoying, but we work around it. Then we get the nozzle position and other things with the nozzle. So let's run through this real quick. Over here, they have this, right? Control B so you can see the entire screen. I'm trying to look out for you guys watching on your cell phones and tablets. And I'll try and speak clearer into the microphone so that subtitles function properly. Cool. Local, we need a nos coordinate, right? Nos coordinates, well actually let's do something similar to them. Nos position, right? But it is coordinates, let's keep it coordinates. It is get entity coordinates of a fuel nozzle. Right, the nozzle we have is called, I think, F nozzle because it is the prop, the actual prop. So we want the position of the prop. So maybe let's make a note of it. The position of the actual prop. Okay. Then, just as a debug, we want to show some message here. Right. So if we have debug enabled, it'll show the debug. What are we going to tell it? They say nozzle position is nozzle pos. I'm happy with that. So we'll just say nozzle coordinates. I like to do semicolon. And then we do nos chords. Right. So that is just to check whether or not the script actually gives us the proper nozzle coordinates, and if it actually succeeds in getting the coordinates. That is why the debug is there specifically. Right. Then our nos position outcome. Get offset from entity in world coordinates. Okay. Strange. So what they're doing is they're getting the actual coordinates of it, and then they get another set of coordinates, right, of F nozzle 0.0 minus 0.033 195. Alright. So maybe what is happening is we are getting the position of the nozzle itself, and that is to check if it exists technically. So I'm assuming that is what it is, because I believe get offset from entity world coordinates is probably a more task intensive function, and we only want to do that if the actual coordinates exist. Right. Local pump height add. So we'll do station height add. Initialize it to null. Then they have a very big debug statement over here. Right. There be my words, bro. Hello. Their debug statement is as follows. So let's just new line it so that we can do something similar. Right. They are printing what? They're printing grabbing nozzle at location hash. Then they do current location. What is the location variable we set? Probably station coordinates, which seems fair. Station coordinates, right? So it'll print that. Then they say if that is just for pump height. Let's see. Config.gas station. Let's see what that is about. Config. Let's search gas stations. Enabled. Solve percent over here. Right. So over here, they've got a zone. This is probably for the gas station. A min z, a max z shutoff, ped coordinates. That is the ped that spawns near the garage. Electric charger, electric coordinates. Okay, so let's just go through exactly what's happening here. So they print the hose location. If config.gas station's current location dot pump height add is not null, then we add things. Okay. So let us see here. In our gas stations, we've got number 1, number 2 doesn't have a pump height add, nor does 3, nor 4, nor 5. No 6, no 7, no 8. So what I'm thinking is instead we search the variable itself. So in this config over here, number 12, or config.pumphose and pump height add. I wonder. We might not need that, so in our case, we don't need that. So our debug statement will be much simpler in this case. We'll put a pin in it, and if it becomes an issue later, we'll work around it. Right, print pump height add. So let's just do a pump height, and instead of null, we just default it to theirs, which is 2.0, and that can be deleted, so we have a clear workspace now. Let us look at what they did next. So after setting the pump height, they attach the entities to rope. And okay, setting an entity outline. That is pretty neat. So let us look at this real quick. What does this tell us? First, we're calling the native, which is attach entities to rope, right? What are we attaching? We're attaching the pipe, which is the rope in this case, to what? We are attaching our pump, which is our station object, and our F nozzle, which is the model of the nozzle, where at station coordinates dot x, station coordinates dot y, and station coordinates dot z. Right, here they add station height add, and then they add the nozzle position. So first we have the station position because we're attaching to the station object first and then the nozzle. So if you were to say F nozzle and station, we would have the nozzle coordinates before we had the station coordinates. However, in this case, we'll have the station coordinates and then the nozzle coordinates. So we'll say F nozzle. Can't remember what is the nos coordinates, right? So not F nos, we have nos coordinates dot x, and I'll just copy this because no need to keep typing it. Dot y and dot z. Our length would be a variable, and here we have a false, null. We'll just trust that those are necessary. If we do not trust it, we head over to where? Let us go to our native. FiveM natives documentation. We say attach entities to rope over here. So bone name 1, bone name 2, P11 and P12. So this is only client side, and there's no information on these. So we aren't attaching it to the bone. We're attaching it to a coordinate, and the coordinates are quite specific, and in that case I believe we don't need the bones, and I assume that is why no bones exist within this attach entity native. Now our length is what? Let's just see over here, player pet ID. That is fine. Nothing about length here, so what I'm thinking is in our config we set the length default where enable type, and let us place a comma, and we will do length, and we will do 8.0. Where did we last see something about length? Not quite recall. Somewhere here, and water vehicle fuel. Okay, gas stations. Vanity list, we don't need that. Electric vehicles, we don't need that. No fuel usage. Over here, pump hose, rope type, Hmm. Can't recall. Over here, this was the length. Over here. No, I'm lying. I remember 8. I can't recall where. It'll be here somewhere. Over here, 8.0. Do not set this to 0.0. Game will crash. That is the length of the pipe. Right. I cannot tell you where they have length. And they don't even know where length comes from. So what is the... Yeah. I don't see it. So what we'll do is instead of length... let's allow people to choose. 8.0. And we'll say... do not set to 0.0. It will crash game. And even though we said that, we will check for it. Right, if pipe enabled, then if config.pipe.length is well, let's say smaller or equal to 0.0, then we'll change the config.pipe length to be equal to our default, which is 8.0. So even if they make a mistake and set it to 0 or smaller than 0, then we will do that. Actually, what we might do is they set it to smaller than 0.5. Let's just see. Do not set this to 0. Fantastic. So any other length is perfectly fine. So we'll do that. Sure. If it is 0 or smaller than, we'll just set it to 8. Easy as that. Easy as pie. And then over here we will have config.pipe.length. Awesome. And then over here where we have length, we will do config.pipe.length. Awesome. Right. So we're attaching our entities. Attach entities to a rope, and that'll end this function. However, they also create a thread, and this thread, where, over there, click that. This thread runs whilst our thingy is happening, whilst we are holding the nozzle. Right, because we gotta adapt the animation and such. So what did they say in their debug? Host properties. I mean, we can just leave that it is as is. We'll copy that, do that. Pipe properties, and not fuel debug, but enable debug. Cut that. Let's do that. Let's just go through this real quick. There's a pipe station object, yes. Okay. Wait. There's nozzle coordinates, my bad. And length would be config.pipe.length. rope, that'll be station object, and this would be F nozzle. This is our entity and true. Right. Not rope, but right. Station object F nozzle. Right. Everything else sorted. Right. Now, continuing with this thread, let's just go through it and see exactly what it does. While holding special nozzle, helicopter fueling. Okay. Oh, this is quite helpful. What is this? Box target. Over here. Can interact. This is what? Alright. Right, we will look at that later. Getting carried away, huh? Special nozzle. Honestly, I've got no clue. Can't tell you. Let's see if they've got another add rope. Yes, they do. So they've got a normal grab nozzle function, which is actually the one you're supposed to be looking at. Right. After attaching the entity, let's just say holding nozzle is equal to true. And this would be a local script function, global in the script, in the client.main, holding nozzle. Let's just do false, because defaulting false is ped currently holding nozzle. Super simple. Just tidy this up a bit. I guess I'm kind of OCD with that. Do very neatly. Awesome. Right. That sorts out that. Holding nozzle is true. Then we create thread. Right. It is a function with an end in our thread. We say, first of all, I always like to put in a wait 0 for safety. Right, then we will say while we are holding the nozzle, do some things. Okay. Right. They wait 2.5 seconds for a bunch of things, so let's run through it. Right. They have local current coordinates, which is get entity coordinates of the PED. In our case, let's just check it. It is still PED, yes. Player PED ID, just confirming that it's correct. And we will just finish this create thread real quick, and we'll end the video after that. But get into the coordinates. So we're getting the local coordinates, and then local, let's do proximity is equal to this. What this does is grabbed nozzle coordinates. Let's just, what did we name it? Taken nos coordinates. So taken nos coordinates minus what? Our current coordinates. Right. So it'll probably be a distance use because we will probably update the length of the rope. Seems intuitive or logical at the very least. Then they have what? If not target created, then if config.fuel target export, then export config.target resource allow refuel true. Not target created. Let's just remember we're on line 510 here. Grab nozzle special. No, we don't want that. Don't know. Target created. I have no clue where all of them are registered. Target created. Where are they defined? Is the question. Target created. Let us see. Maybe it is in some other location. But also not station. Probably utils? No. Electric client. Alright. Server. Config? No, surely not. Yeah. Okay. Got no clue. Got no clue. 510. So we will just run it as if we, if not target created. Oh no, it's strange that we're just copying it like that. We'll just say then if summing end fuel target export, we will search that over here. Right, there have it set to false. Do not use with ox target. This is only to fix this QB target issue. Right, we don't need it yet. Let's just assume we don't need it. So if it is true, then we allow a refuel, and then we create our target. Okay. So what I'm thinking it does is target created is true. Right. Let's just copy it. end, copy it to the if, so that it makes sense. Config.fuel target export. Let's go here. Okay, we'll have to change this to say QB target or box target. So QB dash target. The reason being, this is the script's name, which will also then be this config.i.name, right? It is case sensitive, just be aware. Then we will do here at the bottom of I, we'll do this config.i export fix. And then just borrow from this. Right. Right, we do that. For now, let us just do that for safety's sake. And I'll look at the error later on. Maybe it isn't even an issue anymore. Maybe it has been fixed recently. So export fix. So if the target hasn't been created, right, then if we are fixing the export, we create the export and the target is created. Super simple. Only thing that happens now is we're checking the distance, right? So we're saying if our distance is smaller, no larger than, obviously, because if you're too far away, you can't refuel, right? So if you're too far away, then we can't refuel. 7.5 units is actually quite big. We will have a notify. Let's see. Right, so what's happening is we're doing the same check we did here. However, what is happening here is technically while we are holding the nozzle, we're telling it that refueling is allowed, right? But if we get too far away, we are going to say refueling is no longer available, hence the false. Obviously, because we are too far away. Then, here they say target created is still true. Not quite sure I understand it. But I do somewhat. Right. Delete object if nozzle. Why are we deleting the object? Right. If we are walking too far away, like I said, 7.5 is very far. So it kind of makes sense. Then we do a notify. And we will do what? We will do nozzle cannot reach. Just exclaim it and say error. Okay. Then if config.pipe.enabled Then what we're going to do is we're going to delete the rope. Right? Rope texture unload. Right? Rope unload textures. My bad. Rope unload textures. And we're going to delete rope pipe, because our rope is called pipe. It is a rope in GTA's entity stuff, but yes. Right. Well, this is just explosion stuff. I don't think... let's add it. Why not? If config dot nozzle dot explosion, then end add explosion, my bad. Grabbed a nozzle coordinates, taken nos.x y .z, tag propane. We'll just continue with this. Right. So we're adding an explosion. And this will start a fire at the location. What I want to do, however, just copy that, no need to starting a fire, set the fire spread rate, we wait 5 seconds and then we stop the fire in range. What I want to do is this, right? We're going to still add an explosion if config dot custom fire event, then, right, else end. Right, we want to trigger an event called in_ft client start fire. The reason I'm doing this is there's a lot of fuel scripts out there that, not fuel scripts, fire scripts, and I'd like people to decide whether or not they want to use their fire scripts event to start and handle the actual fire event. That is why I want to do it this way. So just before we stop, we want to do this. We want to register a net event, right? And let's just copy this over here. And remember, the reason we don't say trigger client event is because it is home within the same script. So even though it's 2 client files, it is still the same script. So we're not referring to something outside of the script. That's why we're only saying trigger event. That's just client side. If it was a server event, we'd say trigger server event because it has to go to the server side of the script. But client to client within the same script is just trigger event. Server to server in the same script is trigger event. But if you're referring to a server script in a server file in another script, then you do trigger server event. Or client in a different script, you'd obviously say trigger client event. Right. Don't mean to mansplain, but I would like to you know, make it clear. Right. So let's just take in coordinates.x, coordinates.y, coordinates.z. Or let's just do x, y, z. Hello. Just do x, y, z. And say your custom start fire event. Easy as that. Go to client. Once we trigger the event, we give it our taken as coordinates x, y, and z. Simple as that. Alternatively, we could just say taken as coordinates, and we could just do something like coordinates and be like, you know, yeet local coordinates, no, I'm lying, x would equal to coordinates dot x. That is also something you can do. And then for y and z, but I think that is a bit tedious. I think it'll be very self-explanatory if we give it an x, y, and a z, and they are just able to use it as it comes in, which makes a lot more sense to me. Right, so the weight is purely just for the fire, so we don't need to add a weight. And then station, models location. Config dot nozzle. We might change it. Explosion. What? Explosion. What did I call it? Yeah, config dot nozzle dot explosion. So explosion is let's say true for testing purposes. Explosion when nozzle too far away. Okay, I think we'll end the episode there. It has been pretty long. Thank you for watching. I appreciate the support. Once again, thanks for your support. I hope you enjoy watching it, and also hope that you learn something alongside me. That is something I truly hope. Just a quick thing before we forget, let's add this weight after or before, during the while holding the nozzle. So that'll be just below here. That'll conclude our grab station nozzle event. Fantastic time. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Peace out.